Okay, Pat, today we're going to talk about something that's already changing our lives, even if you're out there and you haven't even noticed it yet. It's accelerating fast and changing how we work.
Exactly. And the question isn't if it reaches your job, it's when it reaches your job or your business. And once it does, the question is, how are you going to adapt, or are you going to left behind?
Yeah, because today's episode is all about how to navigate the rise of AI. This is the Middle-Aged and Miserable podcast.
Yes, and please subscribe and leave us a like and a lovely review, because this really helps us with the engagement. Thank you.
All right, so the way we did this today is we're going to do a bit of AI background, including some stats, and then we're going to look at AI's predicted impact on jobs and how we work, and then we're going to look at what we should be doing as middle-aged people about AI.
Right.
All right.
So let's go way back to the beginning, because a friend of ours who's literally an expert in AI and has been since the 90s, he's got a PhD in AI.
From the 90s.
I know. So he's been doing this for decades. And he's talked about this from the story and within the context of the story of human progress.
Yeah.
So let's do it that way.
Yeah, and we thought it'd be really interesting for you listeners. So, okay, so let's start with 100,000 years ago, humans created language. Okay, so when we had language, you could teach people things. You could pass down things. And then 3,000 years BC, writing was created. So then that increased communication. And now you can pass on information to the next generation easier. And then nothing happened until 1440. That's when the printing press was invented. Books could be made. So then we could learn from books, and that accelerates progress. More people could learn. 400 years later, 1840, invention of the telegraph. So suddenly we had instantaneous information traveling.
Yeah.
All right. 1945, the computers developed. 1995, the internet's developed.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
Now we're in our generation.
And then finally, 2022, AI. So for the first time in human history, humans can now converse with something other than another human.
Yeah, that's crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the key for me with all of that is the time between each of these massive events, right? So let's go back to the beginning. It took 97,000 years to go from language to writing, and then only 4,500 years to go from writing to the printing press, which is basically mass production of writing. 400 years to go from printing press to telegraph. 100 years, a mere century, to go from telegraph to the invention of the computer. And then half that, 50 years, to go from the computer to the internet. And then a mere 27 years from the invention of the internet to the start of AI.
Yeah.
So human progress is literally accelerating faster and faster. And it's hard to keep up. But can you just imagine where it's going to go from now?
I know, it's crazy. And another sort of key point in there is that in 2020, human developers developed 100% of AI. And then 2024, 2025, human developers and AI developed AI 50-50.
Wow.
And then 2026 to 2027 is predicted that AI develops AI 100%.
So
no
AI
human involvement
is already helping to develop itself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's already doing it now, and then it's going to do it in the future. So our overarching message is that it's not going away. In fact, it's accelerating fast. And we've just got to keep our eyes open. We've got to kind of look after ourselves, and we're going to have to adapt to work with this.
Yeah, definitely. So before we get into this and how awesome it all is any further, the thing that excites me the most are the predictions, and you've been doing a ton of research on this.
Yeah, so we've done.
Talk about that for a bit.
Okay, so we've done some research. So in 1 year, so the end of 2026, let's say, AI is going to be everywhere. It's going to be writing emails, scheduling meetings, helping with coding, and answering customer questions or whatever. And entry-level jobs like cashiers, data entry, bookkeepers, reviewing contracts, they're just going to start to fade as the companies automate all this repetitive work.
Right.
You know, they say that mass layoffs are unlikely. It'll be more of hiring will slow. So companies will focus more on doing things with what they've got rather than bringing on more people.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a minute. So it's the simple jobs that will be tough to kind of get because they're going to be disappearing, the entry level kind of jobs. And I think generally speaking for companies, those people are typically the younger people. And those people right now are just leaving college or in college. So they still have plenty of time to figure out what they're going to do with this hugely changing environment, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. At least they've got the time on their hands to learn AI. And I hope college is preparing them for AI.
Yeah. It is. Let me give you an example. Do you remember a few podcasts ago I talked about how my youngest daughter is very resistant to adopting AI in the way she works and in her life and stuff? Well, she said, she came to us, didn't she, the other day, and she said to you, Chris, you were right because they are teaching her how to use AI in her college.
I know, and she was referring to, I was saying, first, when you go to a job interview from now on, first question is going to be, how are you going to use AI to help my company?
Yeah.
First question.
And they said exactly that to her.
Yeah. There's not going to be an excuse not to know it.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to learn it. Yeah. Should we move forward then in 2 years?
Yeah, go on. Keep going.
So in 2 years' time, so by 2027, AI becomes part of nearly every system at work. Your customer relation management, your spreadsheets, reports, customer platforms, they're all going to think for themselves. But what's really happening is the workflow's changing. Like AI does the work first, and then humans review it and finalize it.
Right.
So people who learn, manage AI tools are going to move up the career ladder faster.
Yeah.
And those who don't manage AI tools will not.
Yeah, I believe that because like any business, they're going to want to embrace efficiency, aren't they? So yeah, rather than employ a bunch of people to do a bunch of work, if they've got AI agents now that can do that, they're going to embrace that, aren't they? Really, and if you as an employee can help your company with the adoption of these AI agents, then you're going to be of value to that company. Aren't you really? So, and quite the contrary, if you can't do that and you're ignoring it, then you're going to be dead weight to the company.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was 2 years away.
Okay, so that was 2 years. So what about 5 years? So by 2030, most jobs are going to be AI augmented.
Right.
People and AI working side by side with the AI handling all the routine stuff. So I couldn't get a good answer on how many jobs are going to disappear, but
you got some numbers, right?
Yeah, some places said like 92 million jobs worldwide will disappear
within the 5-year time horizon, right?
By 2030.
Okay,
but then these same places that say that 92 million jobs are going say that roughly 170 million new ones will appear.
Right.
So I couldn't get a straight answer on the exact number, but what is absolutely clear is there's just going to be a massive churn, almost like a redistribution of jobs.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway, isn't it? Really, it's this transition from, I don't know, let's use the numbers that you came up with, from this 90 odd million to 170 million. There will be redefinition of the work, the way what people are doing, and rather than a complete cull of all of the jobs. In fact, your numbers suggest there'll be an increase in the demand of jobs, just different jobs.
Yeah, and we'll talk about what those jobs are in a minute, but this isn't the same. I mean, but I had a similar thing when I was at college. I'm so old that when I was at college, I learned how to do technical drawing. I wanted to go into aerospace. I wanted to be an engineer. I learned how to draw all that.
With a pen and paper?
Actually a pencil and a drafting board. I got out of college and computer-aided design was out. It was already obsolete. And everything I learned, I never used it. It used to be a job. I never used it.
You've got really neat handwriting, though.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it. But I got out of college, got into the workplace, learnt CAD, computer-aided design, and that was it. So it's not on the same scale, but that's the kind of thing that we've got to deal with, that kind of change.
So some jobs will remain, though.
Yeah. So some jobs are going to remain, and those jobs will probably be more human-centered.
Right.
I don't know, therapy, caregiving, trades. Anything requiring the human touch or empathy or trust.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And a few places it said that teaching would remain, and I think it will remain, but I'm not sure about it because, like, teaching as we know it, the whole school system, college system, person at the front lecturing and you're at the back taking it in. I don't learn like that. So I actually like the idea of a teacher on my AI device, on my phone, that can teach me in the way I want to learn. So I'm not sure about teaching. I think
you're doing that.
I do.
Think about it,
I do it with
Spanish.
Yeah, I speak to it in Spanish, and it knows how I want to learn. And I don't know. I could be on my own there. I'm sure teaching will still exist, but I'm sure there'll also be people on their devices learning how they want to learn.
Customized, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
The potential for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to like human-centered work as well, because you did mention therapy. I've heard talk of therapists, AI therapists existing and the potential for that. But I think, especially for people, older people, we're not old, but we're middle-aged, but you want that human touch, don't you? You want that. There's some trust established when you're talking to another person rather than a machine or an AI, even though it might be really knowledgeable and know all of the Freudian techniques of psychology and everything, but it's not a human. I don't know if that'll catch on.
No, I think there'll be definitely people that will prefer that, especially the older generation.
So?
I think people want people.
Yeah.
Especially the older
I
generations.
wonder how the younger generation would approach that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah. You've been stuck at the same professional level for 5 years, maybe longer.
You want more success, more money, a better performing business, but somehow something keeps holding you back?
What if that something is your unconscious programming? Because what we get in life is what we believe we deserve deep down in our unconscious.
And here's the truth. You are where you are in life right now because that's where you believe you deserve to be.
You can't outrun your beliefs. That is why so many people struggle for years, even decades, without making any real breakthroughs.
We help middle-aged professionals like you. We can upgrade your mindset, upgrade the habits, and crucially, remove the unconscious limiting beliefs that are blocking your success.
So you can finally step into the career, the wealth, and the freedom that you know that you're capable of.
So ask yourself, what's it costing you not to change?
Contact us at coaching@patandchris.com or reach out to us on Instagram.
Act now and take back control of your life.
So what about, I was going to say, like, for jobs that remain, like, if you're an electrician, a mechanic, or a plumber, construction crew, you're laughing.
Yeah, you're not going to build a house, are you?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great business to be in, or
AI.
something supporting it, Maybe you're not actually, putting the 2x4s together and framing, but you could be in that business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably using AI to help order.
Yeah, the blue collar work. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So let's talk about job gains. So I think AI builders, prompt writers, AI supervisors, all of that's going to just be more and more prevalent, more and more common. Cybersecurity, that's going to be a huge growth industry because all of these, AI's got safety around it, hasn't it? And every time a new AI comes up, there's new risks. So there'll be systems that will have to be put into place to manage those risks and keep it safe.
Yeah.
Robotics, that's going to grow.
Yeah, that's this talking of how companies are going to be embracing it, and there will be job creation as a result of that. I think that because of the advent of AI, companies are now in a situation where they can achieve more. You can do more with the use of AI. So, by a company needing to do more and gain efficiencies, that is going to create work. It's going to create jobs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me, not quite know why that reminded me, but when mobile phones first came out, remember when mobile phones first came? Because I am that old, literally.
We're that old. We do remember that.
And all of a sudden, there were mobile phone experts. Those never existed.
Yeah, I remember going in the store. We were in Paris at the time, going in the store, and I'm like, these two guys in here, that's their job. They just do phones. Yeah. And they didn't, 2 years ago, there weren't any. And now it's a career.
Like smartphones. I remember that it was, 2008, and this guy had the first iPhone, and he was in the office, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get one of those. And they're like, well, what are those things, those buttons? Well, they're called apps, apparently. And now there are app developers. And that's a huge thing now. That's jobs that are created within.
Didn't exist before, did it?
No, it didn't. No.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Okay, Pat. So what does this mean for us as middle-aged people?
Right.
So I think we need to focus on what we do in our jobs or our business, and just notice the tasks that repeat, because these are the tasks that are going to be automated first. If you're in a job and it's just constantly task repeat,
right,
it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's affected by this.
Yeah.
In any job,
Yeah.
There's always work that is currently at risk with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the good news is if you do learn it, and you can be a mid-career professional, and you can guide and mentor others in AI, and then you could be, one of the most valuable people in the workforce.
Yeah, definitely. There are also skills that are somewhat immune to the development and advent of AI, like the human skills, like common sense, judgment, communication, creativity, and leadership. The people skills.
Yeah.
That we all could do with developing to a certain extent as well. Those are a little bit more immune from the advent of AI as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, and let's think while we're talking about skills. So, in the future state, what skills do you need? Because you don't need another degree, because you've got an intern in your pocket. That's got a degree in a PhD in every subject there ever was.
That's right. Absolutely.
So you don't need another degree. You need adaptability.
Absolutely.
You know, the ability to pivot.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to, that's what it is in a nutshell, isn't it? You've got to be able to, because it's happening so fast, you've got to be able to adjust quickly. You've got to learn new tools like tomorrow. And the sad thing is, if you're an expert in something that's at risk, you've got to let that go. You've got to let go of these old skills, even if you're a master and an expert at it, really.
It happened to me. I just talked about CAD. I was a drafter on CAD for many years. Went all around the world doing it, and I learned this system called CATIA V4. Like, it was V4, right? And I was an expert on it. I had 12 years on this thing. And then one day, overnight, V5 came out. And it was completely different. Usually a version is kind of similar. It was nothing like it. It was a completely different ball of wax. And I went to V5 training, and this guy said, all right, hands up, everyone that's got 5 years CATIA V4. And then a load of hands went up. I kept my hand down. Hands up who's got 10 years V4. And then a couple of hands went up. And he went, who's got more than 10 years? And it was just me with my hand up. And he said, isn't it amazing? That is dead knowledge now. And I was like, I knew nothing then. From having 12 years, the most knowledgeable person, I knew nothing. And I had to start again. It was just, you had to let it go. It's the same thing that's going to happen with a lot of people's job roles. You've got to let it go, and you've got to move on. Like we said, you've got to be adaptable. Yeah.
And there are plenty of things you could learn. The AI tools, right? The prompt design, that's how we interact with AI right now, and how you construct your prompts. Automation, another one, is the latest thing as well, and how AI integrates with your existing systems. All of that is our new skills to learn. You've got to think like a builder, an AI system builder, really.
That reminds me. So, think like a builder. So right now, we get a job, and then, a lot of us get a job if we haven't got their own business. So you get a job, and then you work for someone.
Right.
And then you work doing something for that company, right?
Yeah.
Future state, we're not going to be doing things. This is I like Dan Martell's videos. He says this. We're no longer doing things. AI does things. We need to move towards directing things.
Yeah.
So in jobs in the future, we will be directing AI agents to do the doing. And we will not be doing, the doing.
Yeah.
We're just directing.
You know what that is?
What is that?
Entrepreneurship. That is like being an entrepreneur, because what you're doing when you think about it is you are now directing. You're moving away from the doing, like you said. You're going to move into the directing, which is what you're doing as an entrepreneur. So you think about it now, your job is going to be directing, which is what you do as an entrepreneur. You might as well become an entrepreneur and do it for yourself.
Yeah, because you're solving a problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're becoming a problem solver, because your boss is going to come to you rather than a set of specific instructions for you to go and do.
Yeah,
he's going to come to you with, hey, I want you to solve this problem. And you're going to go with all your AI agents at your disposal now, or in the near future. Okay, I want you to do that, I want you to do that, I want you to research this, research that, and come back to us. You are now directing the way you would if you ran your own business.
Yeah, you've got a problem, and then you look at what you've got available to you, AI agents. What is the easiest, most efficient way of doing this with these agents?
Yeah.
It's just like So, when you think of it that way, there's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur.
That's right.
You're gonna end up sort of that way anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you can like wield the power of AI, then because right now, if you can, you're competing at a scale that was unthinkable, like even a couple of years ago.
That's right. Totally.
One person businesses are now doing the work of entire teams. With these AI engines. Right?
It's funny you mentioned one person businesses. I occasionally find myself on social media like TikTok and Instagram and things like that. And I've seen, fortunately, my feed is quite inspirational. I get a lot of business feed and stuff like that. I've actually seen evidence of one or two people running an entire business with AI agents that they've sold those businesses worth millions.
Yeah.
And this is happening now, not in 2 or 3 years' time. This is happening now.
Oh, yeah. There's already people in the AI community saying that we're not far away from having the first billion-dollar business with one employee.
Yeah, and I can believe that.
Yeah, I can.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've ever thought about starting a business, now's the time. Mm-hmm. Because AI has essentially leveled the playing field. Because maybe you couldn't code before. Well, it doesn't matter now because you can just get AI to prompt it and it'll create the code.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe you couldn't create an app before. You'd have to pay someone a shed load of money to do it. But now you don't have to. You can create an app.
Yeah. There's what we're doing, in fact. We've said this before. Maybe you didn't have time before, because that's the biggest excuse most people say for improving. Oh, I don't have time, I'm too busy. Well, yeah, we didn't have time. But now all of a sudden we are using AI to help bolster our ability to do, I don't know, we're doing marketing, and I've got AI working on the lead funnel and social media posts. It's all can be automated. We're working heavily on automation because we don't have dozens of employees. We've got AI now.
Yeah, exactly.
The website that we did.
Yeah.
We created a website.
Lovable.dev. That's a top tip for people, lovable.dev.
Yeah, we created a website. It took some tweaking, but inside a couple hours, with English words, with prompts, we created a website, and it was fantastic. Zero coding skills.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's www.patandchris.com.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you get your newsletter stuff. That's where you get your podcast stuff. That's where you get your coaching stuff.
There you go.
That's a good place to go. You can create an app in lovable.dev as well.
There you go. That's right.
So what should we be doing right now, Pat, as middle-aged people? You just got to start auditing your current role, whatever that is.
That's important. Say that again. That's important.
Start auditing your current role and ask yourself, is my work predictable, repetitive, or pattern-based? Mm-hmm. Because if it is, it's at risk.
Yeah.
And then you got to just start learning it. Take the time to learn just a little bit each day, because your livelihood can depend on it. Mm-hmm. I've already committed 30 minutes a day. I research and learn YouTube videos, podcasts, and then so that's just learning it, by the way. And then I spend an hour using it.
Yeah, I'm doing it too. I even signed up for a course to teach me on various different aspects of AI as well. But I actually really have embraced the automation side of it. Like the how you can get your repetitive tasks, because we've all got repetitive, boring tasks that we don't want to do that you would normally delegate. AI is going to take care of that, and I'm really, really getting into the automation side of it. For the, like I said it earlier, the lead funnel and development of a newsletter, the content creation. Yeah, it's all AI capable.
Yeah, I think you just got to start now while everyone else is kind of burying their heads in the sand a little bit.
Absolutely. I want to switch gears a little bit, and while we are middle aged, and I'm a father of two kids, I think we should be, as parents, talking to our kids about how they're going to be entering a world which is basically a hybrid AI human world, really, in everything that we do. So I think we need to be teaching our kids to embrace it rather than fear it. So because we're going to be humans directing machines, basically, it's not going to work the way it's been working up until today. And people who resist that will actually get left behind. And I've seen it. I've seen people resisting it, and it still exists. And surprisingly, there are a lot of younger people in their younger 20s that I know that are still resistant to it.
They are, yeah.
And I don't understand why you would think that the younger people would be all over technology, but no, they're still there's still a fear around it about what it's going to do and the unknown. And I just think we need to help our kids understand that it's happening anyway.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's a game changer, and you just have to embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, some adults are resistant to it too. I know a couple of people who are super knowledgeable in key sort of niche areas, very small niche, and they know everything there is to know on that subject. And they go into AI and interrogate it, and then it gets something wrong. And then they say, well, it's useless. It got that wrong. So they don't use it. But, it's the wrong way to look at it.
Exactly,
we all know that AI does, they call it hallucinating, doesn't it? It'll very confidently be wrong about something. And it's called a hallucination. But you can't just go into it in a niche subject, see something's wrong, and then just dismiss it for another year and a half.
Yeah.
You've got to get in there and just use it to make your life easier. Okay, so maybe it doesn't know absolutely everything about that small niche subject, but you've got to get in there and start learning it before you get left behind.
That's probably not the best use of AI for them then, is it really? No. Because they probably do know more than the AI at the time on that particular niche subject, but there are plenty of other areas of their life that they could probably use AI for, rather than ask it a question on the subject that they're an expert in, just so they can poke holes in its response. That's not a good use of it, is it? Really?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I look at AI as think of you times 100 or 1,000.
There you go.
Like, you can create far more now than you used to. You can do far more now. You can leverage AI to create waves and impact in the world, way more than you could before.
Mm-hmm. So let's just finish up a little bit here. So there are indeed concerns, and there are people still fearful of AI as well. Like, we've all watched Terminator, so I think we've been conditioned to fear where AI might take us in the future, rather than the same way that we all are scared of sharks because we watched Jaws. Terminator did the same thing for us with AI, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there are fears surrounding AI, where it'll end up, and they're valid fears, but the facts are AI can't be stopped, and it's not going to stop tomorrow because of these fears. So you're going to have to embrace it. You literally have no choice. So standing still is not an option. So audit what you do each day. Notice what repetitive tasks you do, because AI will soon do all these tasks. And just begin learning it. Learn how to use it. And above all, begin adapting, because your career or your business may depend on it.
If you like what you just heard, please subscribe and like so you never miss another episode. And if you want more of this content, check out our social media for more ways to avoid being middle-aged and miserable.